Welcome back to the show. My guest today is the controversial online influencer, former kickboxer, and now someone who's recently been in the news, Andrew Tate. Andrew, how are you doing today?
Joe, thanks for having me. I'm doing great considering the circumstances. I'm living my best life and making moves every day to achieve more success and wealth. You know how it is, Joe. When you come from humble beginnings like I did, you never take a single moment of success for granted. And let me tell you, I am living proof that hard work pays off. I have a beautiful home, drive the cars of my dreams, and have a team of people working for me. But it's not just about the material things, Joe. It's about the sense of accomplishment and pride I feel knowing that I have earned every single thing I have in life. And the best part is, I'm not even close to being done yet. There's so much more out there for me to conquer, and I'm excited to keep pushing forward. So yeah, Joe, I'm doing pretty damn good today despite being attacked by the Matrix and having been recently thrown in jail.
Wow, what a great way of looking at things. I know you've been in the spotlight under fire for some serious allegations made against you. So Andrew, can you tell us about your experience in jail and your thought process while in there? I'm sure our viewers would love to hear it from you.
I couldn't believe my luck when they threw me in prison. It was like a vacation, a break from the hustle and bustle of my usual life. I was surrounded by these average, mundane people who had nothing on me. I could tell from the moment I walked in that I was the alpha male in that place. Sure, the food was terrible and the bed was uncomfortable, but it didn't matter to me. I was born for greatness and no prison cell was going to hold me back. As I sat in that cell, I couldn't help but think about how the Matrix was trying to take me down. They didn't want me spreading my message of truth and empowerment to the masses. But I won't let them win. I'll come out of here even stronger than before. The average person can't even begin to comprehend the level of success I've achieved in my life. I'll continue to make boastful remarks and speak my truth no matter what they do to me. In the meantime, I'll just have to endure this prison sentence with my head held high. I am Andrew Tate, after all. The Matrix may try to attack me, but they'll never bring me down. But do they understand the power of the mind? The power of manifestation? I don't think so. They are stuck in their own little matrix, unable to see the bigger picture. I am here in prison, but I am not defeated. I am still powerful, still in control. The Matrix may have taken away my freedom, but they can never take away my mind. In fact, being in prison has only made me stronger. It has forced me to tap into my inner strength and focus on my goals. I've been using my time here to meditate, to visualize my future success, to plan my next moves. The Matrix may be attacking me, but they will never bring me down. I am a fighter, a warrior, and I will come out of this stronger than ever before. They may think they have won, but they have no idea who they are dealing with. I am Andrew Tate, and I will not be defeated by the Matrix. I smirked to myself, knowing that I had a lot more life experience than most of these commoners around me. They had no idea what real success was, or what it took to achieve it. They would never understand the drive and determination that led me to become a professional kickboxer and social media influencer, even as I sat in this dingy prison cell. As I lay down on my hard bunk, I closed my eyes and focused on my breathing. I needed to stay calm and centered, despite the chaos and injustice of my current situation. The Matrix was always trying to bring me down, to silence me and keep me from spreading my message of truth and empowerment. But they would never succeed. I was too powerful, too strong-willed, and too driven to let anyone or anything stand in my way. I spent my days in prison working out, reading books, and meditating. I refused to let this setback define me or break me down. Instead, I saw it as an opportunity to grow and evolve, to become even more powerful and unstoppable. I knew that when I emerged from this dark place, I would be a force to be reckoned with, more determined and focused than ever before. The Matrix could try to keep me down, but they would never succeed. I was Andrew Tate, and nothing could stop me. I smirked as I strutted down the cell block, the other inmates eyeing me warily. They knew better than to mess with me. After all, what did they have that I didn't? I was a successful influencer, a world-class kickboxer, and a multimillionaire. What did they have? A rap sheet and a life of poverty. I couldn't help but laugh at their pathetic existence. They were so focused on their petty crimes and mundane lives, while I was constantly pushing the boundaries and achieving greatness. They were nothing compared to me.
Wow, that's a very interesting way of looking at things. I'm sure you would offend a lot of people talking that way. I wonder if the guards would ever bring in DMT for the inmates to try.
You know what, Joe? I never thought to ask them. I was too focused on not getting raped or off-camera tickle time with the weird guards and other inmates. Who knows what they would have done to my physical body while I was off venturing in the wonders of the DMT realm. What is it like anyways?
I'll tell you about my recent experience on it. So, as I took that first hit of DMT, I was immediately transported to this lush jungle world. Everything was vibrant and alive, and I felt like I was in a completely different reality. The first thing I noticed were these enormous mushrooms that were the size of trees. They were everywhere, and they seemed to pulse and glow with an otherworldly energy. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. As I walked deeper into the jungle, I heard rustling in the bushes. I turned around and saw a giant bird with feathers that shimmered in the sunlight. It was unlike any bird I had ever seen before, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. I tried to reach out and touch it, but it quickly flew away, disappearing into the canopy.
What the fuck, Joe?
Hold on, let me tell the story. As I continued on my journey, I came across a group of dinosaurs grazing in a clearing. There were Triceratops, Brontosauruses, and even a Tyrannosaurus rex. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I had never seen these creatures in real life before, let alone up close and personal. But then, something even more amazing happened. I saw her, the most beautiful girl I had ever laid eyes on. She was unlike anyone I had ever met before, with piercing green eyes and long, flowing hair that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. She was surrounded by a group of people, and they all welcomed me into their tribe with open arms. I spent what felt like months living in this jungle world. I learned how to hunt with the tribe, how to build shelter and start fires, and even how to communicate with the animals around us. And all the while, I was falling more and more in love with this girl. We would spend hours talking about our hopes and dreams, and I felt like I had finally found my soulmate. But then, one day, something changed. The girl became ill and needed me to care for her. I had never felt such a deep sense of responsibility to care for another human being before. I cared for her as the months went by, and I knew I would never think of abandoning her. One day I slowly felt like I was leaving the jungle, and when I came back to reality, I felt like I had just torn from the happiest moments of my life. The experience had shaken me to my core. I couldn't stop thinking about that girl, and I started to plan and prepare for my next DMT trip with the sole purpose of going back to save her. I knew it was crazy, but I couldn't shake the feeling that she was still out there waiting for me.
I would be traumatized too. Probably next to impossible to find a bitch willing to cook nowadays. Maybe I'll have to try some of that next time I have an opportunity when the Matrix is not listening. Let me tell you a story that came to mind. So there was this wise man I met on my travels. He had a donkey, and the donkey would carry all of his things as they journeyed through the countryside. Now this donkey was strong, and he was reliable. He did his job without complaint. But one day the wise man noticed that the donkey was looking tired and worn out. His eyes were dull, and his steps were slow. So the wise man decided to take a break and rest for a while. As they sat under a tree, the wise man looked at the donkey and said, "Do you know what your problem is, my friend? You carry too much weight for too little reward. You are like so many people in this world, just going through the motions, carrying the burdens of others without ever questioning why or if it's worth it." The donkey looked up at the wise man, his ears perked up. "You see, my friend," the wise man continued, "you are more than just a beast of burden. You have a spirit, a soul, just like any other creature on this earth, and you have the power to choose your own destiny, to break free from the weight that holds you down." I took a deep breath as the man was telling me this. That story always stuck with me, you know? It made me sympathize with the man as I thought to myself that we had so much alike, and his efforts to get his donkey to be more than a passive, mindless creature was much like me in freeing these peons who do not want to listen from the Matrix. To all those listening, do not be a donkey, having a dangling carrot in front of you and never actually being able to taste its juices. Pathetic. That's what it's all about, Joe. Not being the donkey that carries other people's shit.
Whoa, that's a pretty deep story and a very interesting way of putting things. I've seen a donkey before, and it did look pretty passive. I wonder if you gave a carrot to a monkey if it would ever try to jump on its back and stick the carrot in front of its head. That's the start of some Planet of the Apes shit.
Why not give the donkey DMT?
Whoa.
And to all the viewers out there, don't be... Hey, Joe, I just thought of something. I'll tell you a story about my time in Mexico. It all started when I was down in Mexico for business. I had just finished up a meeting and was looking for a taxi to take me back to my hotel. That's when I saw it. This beat-up old car with a driver who looked like he had seen better days. But hey, I'm not one to judge, so I hopped in and told him where to go. We had been driving for a while, and I started to get this weird feeling. It was like we were going in circles, but I couldn't be sure. And then out of nowhere, the driver pulled over, and these guys with guns surrounded the car. Next thing I know, I'm being thrown into this dark room with these cartel members holding guns to my head.
Whoa. So what did you do?
I just started laughing. I mean, what else was I supposed to do? These guys had guns to my head, but I was just like, hey, you might as well kill me now, because even in death, I'll still have a better life than you guys. I remember making these funny faces and mocking them as they punched me in the face. It was like something out of a movie, Joe. But then they started to get really annoyed with me. They were like, you think you're so funny, huh? You think you're better than us? And I was just like, dude, I don't think I'm better than you. I know I am better than you. And then they started talking about how they wanted me to transfer them some Bitcoin, and I was like, oh, is that all you want? Sure thing, man. So I transferred them some Bitcoin, and they let me go. It was honestly kind of a rush, you know? Like, I was just so confident that I could handle anything they threw at me. And I did. I mean, I don't know if it was the smartest thing I've ever done, but it definitely made for a good story. After that experience, let me tell you, I will never trust another man driving a beat-up car again. I mean, who knows who could be hiding inside? It's just not worth the risk, you know? I need to be surrounded by luxury and safety at all times. That's why I have my Bugatti. It's not just a car, it's a statement of wealth, power, and success. It's like a spaceship or isolation pod that separates me from the normal creatures that drive Honda Civics or crawl around waiting for buses. And yeah, it is a break being separated from normal people. I mean, have you ever been around normal people? They freak me out, man. They're always talking about their mortgages and their kids and their stupid jobs. But when I'm in my Bugatti, all that fades away. It's just me in the open road and the feeling of power and freedom that comes with it.
Andrew, I hear what you're saying, but I think you're missing the bigger picture here. Owning a Bugatti might give you a temporary high, but it doesn't truly separate you from the rest of the world. We all share this planet together, and we're all human beings at the end of the day. Plus, constantly boasting about your material possessions can actually distance you from people rather than bring you closer to them. It's important to stay grounded and humble, no matter what kind of car you drive or how much money you have in the bank. You know what separates me from the rest of the world? It's the unique experiences that I've had throughout my life, like living alongside a baboon and hunting with it in the African bush. Those are the kind of things that truly shape who you are and give you a different perspective on life. And you don't need a fancy car to have those experiences. You just need to be open to them. So sure, you can keep talking about your Bugatti and how it makes you feel like you're in a spaceship, but at the end of the day, it's just a car. Focus on the things that truly matter: your relationships, your experiences, and your personal growth. That's what will make you truly stand out in this world.
Oh, come on, Joe. You can't seriously be telling me that the guy driving a beat-up old car is just as successful as the guy driving a Bugatti. Joe, I'm not even going to dispute that statement because, honestly, I'm laser-focused on your baboon story, Joe. What the fuck are you talking about? What baboon, and why didn't it rip your face off?
Oh man, that was wild. So I was out in the bush for like 2 weeks, just living off the land and trying to connect with nature, you know? And one day, I stumbled upon this baboon. At first, I was pretty freaked out. I mean, this thing was big and aggressive looking. But then, I started to get to know him. And before I knew it, we were like best friends, hunting and exploring the wilderness together. We couldn't really communicate with words, but somehow we just understood each other. It was like we were speaking the same language, even though we were just grunting and moaning in different frequencies and tones. We had this weird connection, you know? We'd track down prey, take down antelope, and share the meat. It was this incredible bond, this primal connection. And yeah, there were moments where I felt like I was really living, you know, like I was part of something bigger and more ancient than myself. It was like tapping into this primal energy that's been there since the dawn of time. But then, one day, the baboon just disappeared, and I was alone again. I think about him often, you know, and I wonder if he's out there, still roaming the wilderness and living off the land. It's crazy, man. This actually reminds me of a time I took salvia and had a strange, deep connection to facial hair. So there was this one time I was at a party with some friends, and someone brought out this bag of salvia. I had heard about it before, but I had never tried it. I was curious, so I decided to give it a go. I remember taking a big hit from the bong, holding it in for as long as I could, and then exhaling. That's when things got really weird. I felt like I was being sucked into a black hole, and my whole body was vibrating with this intense energy. Suddenly, I found myself in this strange alien world. Everything was made of these neon-colored geometric shapes, and I had no idea what was going on. Then, out of nowhere, this beautiful man appeared in front of me. He had long, flowing hair and a chiseled jawline. I was instantly attracted to him. For the next 15 minutes, I was convinced that I was gay. I was completely in love with this man and couldn't imagine being with anyone else. It was the most bizarre experience of my life. So I'm sitting there on the couch, and suddenly everything starts to feel really weird. I'm looking around, and the room starts to warp and twist, and I feel like I'm being pulled into another dimension. And then I see her, this beautiful woman. I mean, she was just stunning, man. I felt like I was in love with her, like she was the most perfect thing I had ever seen. But then something started to change. Her features started to morph and shift, and before I knew it, she had transformed into this muscular, hairy guy with a beard, and its dick was just staring me in the face. It really freaked me out, but at the same time kind of turned on. It was like this weird mix of emotions, you know? And then, just like that, it was over. The trip ended, and I was back in reality, feeling like it was just another day. You know what I mean, Andrew?
No, Joe, I can't say I know what you mean. I've tried it a few times myself with my cousin Luke and my brother Tristan, but I don't think I've ever seen a sexy woman turn into a dude in front of my eyes. That's some next level stuff. You know, Joe, every morning when I open my garage and see my Bugatti, it's like seeing a beautiful woman. The curves, the shine, it's pure art. Every morning I see it sparkling in my garage, and to be honest, Joe, I get a raging boner just knowing it will turn its gears to every position I tell it to and knowing it's all mine.
Andrew, you must understand that the truth is not always easy to accept.
Hello?
Andrew, do you remember the story of the cave?
Morpheus? Yes, of course. The prisoners in the cave only see shadows on the wall. They don't realize there is a whole world outside.
Wait, who are you talking to?
That's right. Now imagine that you are one of those prisoners. You have been staring at those shadows for so long that you've forgotten what it's like to see the world in full color. But one day, you are freed from the cave and you step out into the sunlight. You see everything for the first time, and it's overwhelming.
That's right, Morpheus.
The truth can be overwhelming, Andrew. It can be hard to accept, especially when it goes against what we've always believed about ourselves. But denying the truth will only keep you trapped in that cave, seeing only shadows of who you truly are. You must step into the sunlight and embrace your true self.
What are you getting at?
You've been holding on to something for a long time, Andrew. Something that has been holding you back, like a weight around your neck. But you have the power to let go of that weight, to shed the skin of the old you, and emerge as something new and beautiful, like the phoenix rising from the ashes. Andrew, have you ever heard the story of the phoenix?
Yes, of course, the phoenix that rises from the ashes. The phoenix doesn't have a Bugatti.
That's right. The phoenix is a symbol of transformation and rebirth. It represents the power to overcome adversity and rise above the challenges that life presents. You too, Andrew, have the power to transform yourself, to rise from the ashes of your past and become something new. You have been stuck in the closet of your being for some time now, Andrew. Your inner colors pulsing against its walls. It's time to release those colors and let them fly across the canvas of the world.
Morpheus, I appreciate your guidance, but I feel like I've shared everything with you already. I've had everything I've ever wanted in life, and I don't know what more truth I can reveal.
I understand. It's scary to let the full spectra of your inner colors shine. But remember, Andrew, the phoenix cannot be reborn without first burning in the flames. You must be willing to face the fire, to feel the heat and the pain, in order to emerge stronger and more beautiful than ever before, like a rainbow dancing after a storm.
I'm not sure what you are referring to, though.
You know what I mean? You're gay, Andrew. Embrace it. Hold Joe's hand as you release this burden that is so deep inside you. Tell Joe you're gay, Andrew.
What? No, that's just ridiculous.
Andrew, the journey of self-discovery is never truly complete. There are always deeper layers to uncover, and the ability to go deeper inside. Like an onion with the juices flying even more heavily as you peel back each layer. If you are not yet ready to tell Joe your innermost, deepest secret, that's fine. But remember our conversation.
Thank God. I appreciate the words of wisdom, Morpheus. It's always been a pleasure.
A pleasure you have been too scared to try.
Okay, Morpheus.
Hold on a minute. Andrew, are you just talking to yourself? You've been going on about self-discovery for a while now, and I'm not sure what you're trying to accomplish here. Are you sure you're not on psychedelics?
Oh, I am sorry, Joe. With someone who has a direct line with God, it's hard to not get lost in trivial conversation. But to answer your question, no, Joe, I am not on psychedelics. Can you give me a minute, Joe? I'll be right back.
All right, stay tuned, folks. We have more in store for you. If you like the podcast so far, remember to subscribe with notifications on, and we will resume once Andrew gets back. Thank you.